friend, what's up and welcome back. Yes, your girl is blonde. I hope you guys like it. I really enjoy just trying out new colors. I'm having a little bit of an issue with one of my eyes. I need to go a few days without my contacts, so I apologize for the glasses and maybe like the glare. I'm trying to like welcome back to my channel, y'all. I know it's been a minute. I went on a family vacay and it was amazing, and I got to just experience something for the first time with my kids, my mom, and of course my husband. So thank you guys so much. I love y'all very much, and I am back and ready. So definitely stick around. If you're not subscribed, make sure you do. I do tell stories here, Ask Nikki's fashion videos, and I'm also going to be doing some more vlogging, so I hope you guys are excited. Anyways, today is y'all's favorite, a good old story time. I was probably already about 17 years old, but this story more so has to do with a confrontation or a conflict between a lady at the movie theater and my mother. And so this story time took place when I was 16 or 17 years old. I was already like in my teenagehood, like heavy, like I thought I was too cool for everybody. You know what I mean? Like I was in that phase. My mom and I had been kind of on the outs, but during this time we were like really trying to understand each other and like make amends. And it had been a while since I had just like hung out with my mom, because like she had her own shit going on with work and her marriage, and I had my own stuff going on with friends and my boyfriend. So one day came around, we had been kind of bumping heads quite a bit, and my mom was like, why don't we just have a mother-daughter day, just me and you? Because up until this point, you know, from the time I was 14 up until now, and in the history of time, I had to kind of get used to having a stepsister, and so I had to like share my mom. So anytime that like we wanted to have a girls' day, of course we would involve Ariel, because like it's kind of messed up not to, you know what I mean? But it affected me quite a bit that I had to like learn how to share my mom, because I never had to, not even with my brother, because like my mom would have like her mother-son days with just him, and then she would have her mother-daughter days with just me. So this was very different. She was like, why don't we just go out, me and you? I feel like we need to reconnect. I feel like we need to, you know, just go to dinner, go to a movie, and just like just me and you. And I was like, really? And she was like, yeah. So she handled everything with Ariel and made sure that like she understood and everything. And so we started planning this little outing. We ended up going to the movies at the mall. I don't even know what we were seeing, but my mom and I, movies is like fucking sacred to us, okay? Like when the panorama hit and all of the movie theaters shut down, like legit, it like hurt our soul. Like both of us, it was such a good pastime, and it was a way that we always connected. And it was just like one of our favorite things to do together. So we would always get to the movies early. Like we don't have no time to be rushing. We like to get there. Now this was before you could reserve seats, you know what I mean? It was like first come first serve type of shit. So we would always get there early to get our seats and to also get our snack. We got there about a good half hour early, and you know, we get all of our snacks. We do it up. We got our candies. A lot of times we sneak it in, but we were the first ones there, right? And that's like my fucking favorite. I love having the whole theater to ourselves, so like we can have our pick of what seat we want and whatever. So we're very particular, girl. Tell me not. I don't know what it is, but we like being dead center in the room, like center in the room, and then like center from the ground and center from the top, if that makes sense. Like dead ass center. That's our seats, okay? We sit down, we are on our phones, we're taking pictures, like we're eating, you know, we're just chilling, talking. I got up, I went to the bathroom. By the time I came back, there was another couple that was walking in behind me. And it was just a guy and a girl. They were probably like in their mid-20s, like 23, 24 years old. And so they were pretty young. So they come in behind me, and I start going up the stairs. And I guess these people had the same exact thought that we did about like being in the center of the theater. So they ended up coming up and coming down the aisle that was literally right behind me and my mom. They both sat directly behind us, and the girl was directly behind my mom, and then the guy was directly behind me. So it was just, and the whole fucking theater is empty. I know they have the freedom to sit anywhere, I get it, but it's like when you have like a whole bus, you're like, you get on a bus and then like you have the whole bus free and a person just comes and sits right next to you like a stranger. Or like if you're at a restaurant, they do that. Like it's just kind of weird, okay? It's just weird. They can sit wherever they want, whatever. Everything was all good, and I was was kind of looking at my mom like, why are you stressing out? Like, they haven't even done anything, you know, like, it's gonna be fine. And my mom was like, okay, you're right. So we go right back to hee-hawing, and then the previews start. And, you know, obviously we started getting a little more comfortable or whatever. Now, our version of comfortable in a public space is just like, you know, you just be leaning the chair back a little bit. You know, you got all your snacks out in front of you like you're ready, okay? These people behind us, they get comfortable, and all of a sudden, I start smelling some Fritos, but like some stank rancid Fritos. Like, it straight up smelled like some fucking Fritos, like rancid, left under the couch for 5 years type of Fritos. All right. It was just like getting stronger and stronger. And I was like, what is that smell? So, you know, I start like looking around. I was like, is that my popcorn? Like, is that my, like, what is that? Right. And my mom has a crazy good sense of smell. Like her nose, she could sniff out anything. That's why I couldn't get away with nothing. You know, like, we could not get away with shit because my mom could smell everything. So before I smelled it, she smelled it. So she starts doing the same thing, and she's like, what is that smell? So, you know, she's like looking around, and all of a sudden she turns around, she goes, oh my God, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And I was like, no. And I was like, you know, doing the teenager thing, and I'm like sitting there and I'm on my phone, and I'm like, what? And she was like, oh my God. She was like, like, why? And I was like, what? So, you know, we're trying to be quiet. She leans over, she goes, look down. And I was like, what? She goes, look down in between our arms. And so I look down, and I see this bitch's bare ass fucking feet on the armrest, on both armrests of my mom's chair. Like, my mom's right here, like this. Her feet are like this. Right here, like, you could see her fucking toes. I fucking knew it. I knew it, and I was like, oh, like, what? Why are you taking off your shoes in the movie theater? And even if you wanted to take off your shoes in the movie theater, why the fuck would you put them on somebody else's armrest? And like, no socks or nothing, just bare ass feet. Like, this is why it smells like fucking Fritos. My mom's just sitting there, and I'm like, do you want to move? Like, we can move. And she was like, I don't want to move. She was like, we had all of our snacks out there. Like, and my mom was just like, dude, we were here first, and like, we already got settled. And I was like, well, we can move. Like, it's no big deal. She was like, let me just see if, you know, we could work this out. I lean back, and I'm like, all right, you got this. So I get right back on my phone, and I'm just like chilling, scrolling or whatever. And all of a sudden, my mom, she turns around, and she's like, hey, no, I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but could it be possible for you to like not put your feet on my armrest? Like, I'm trying to eat, and like, you know, it's kind of, and like, my mom was trying to be nice, you know, she was really trying, and she was like, you know, it's just kind of unsanitary. So could you please take your feet off of my chair? At first, she just like stayed quiet, and like, they're just like in silence. And my mom is like turned all the way around, and she's looking at this girl. And so I don't hear anything. I'm like on my phone, and I hear nothing. It's like silence from this girl. So I turn around, and I'm like, the fuck? Like, what is going on? And she's literally just like, girl, when you start doing that movement, girl, my mom is so likely to go to jail. That was what switched up the whole vibe. And my mom was like, what? Like, hello? She was like, I'm talking to you. Like, can we try to work this out? Maybe compromise? What? This is where I get it from, okay? Like, if y'all make us repeat ourselves, and like, we know damn well you already heard us, and you just being that one, girl, you're gonna get what you asked for, and we will repeat ourselves, but now this time it's not gonna be so nice. So my mom was like, I need you to move your funky feet off of my chair. That is what I'm telling you. That is so rude. It's like looking down at this girl's feet. She was like, your feet are bare, and you like, they're funky, and I can smell that. The only reason why I even knew that you had your feet up here is because I smelled them. And like, I'm eating, and I'm trying to enjoy my movie experience that I paid a lot of money for these tickets. So like, if you could just please take your foot down off of my chair on both sides, I would very much appreciate it, right? So my mom's talking, and then all of a sudden she looks over, and she looks at this dude that's next to her, this girl's boyfriend, and she was like, and you too? And she was like, take your feet off of my daughter's chair, bitch. This man had his whole ass, bare ass, funky ass feet all over my chair too, on both sides. I didn't even fucking notice. It like, and one of his legs was like more outstretched than the other one. It was like the right one on this side. And so I didn't even know. He had his fucking shoes and his socks off, girl. So like the hella funky Frito smell that I was smelling was this man's feet. And I was like, what? Are you serious? So I turned around and was like, girl, now this is like teenage Nikki, okay? I was very loud. And if I felt like they were giving us attitude, so I gave it right back. And I turned around, I was like, hey, I'm not the one. Take your fucking feet off of my shit. Like, take your feet off of my chair right now. I was like, what is wrong with you? And so, you know, he like takes his feet off and he was like, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't know it was going to be an issue. I was like, you didn't know it was going to be an issue to put your bare feet on somebody else's chair in the movies? I was like, well, it is. It's an issue. So can you like not? Because I really was eating like all my popcorn. Y'all, I start talking to him and I'm like, you need to take your feet down. Like, no. And then all of a sudden this girl starts going off at the mouth. And she was like, you don't know. And so she looks at her man. She was like, you don't have to listen to them. She was like, whatever. Like, we can do whatever we want. Like, if we want to put our feet up, we can put our feet up. And my mom was like, where in the world were you raised? They're like, what are you talking about? If there's no footrest, bitch, my chair is not your footrest, especially with you having no damn shoes on. She was like, do you know how many places you will not get service with no shirt and no shoes? That's why, because it's nasty. So like my mom's like going back and forth with this girl, but this girl is like looking right at me because she's mad at me for addressing her man. So I was like, oh, you mad? Oh, you mad? So I looked over at her man and I was like, really? This is what you're with? Like, I really did. I started talking shit and I was like, y'all can do whatever y'all want. I was like, but not around here. Now, as soon as the guy started seeing everything getting heated up, he really was like trying to be like, oh, I'm sorry. He started putting on his shoes again. He was like, you know, my bad. Like, I didn't know it was going to be an issue. I was like, well, it is. So as I see him put his shoes back on, I really don't have shit to say to her. I don't care. My mom already has that handled. I don't need to like help my mama out. She's fine. So I turn back around and I'm like, thank you. Like, I'm glad we have an understanding. Thank you. So, you know, I get back on my phone. By this point, the girl had her feet off of my mom's chair. She said something slick along the lines of like, what my mom was asking for was just like ridiculous. And my mom was being ridiculous, but whatever. Like, you're being ridiculous, but whatever. Like, I guess. And so she takes her feet off and my mom was like, okay, all right, like whatever. She turns around and like now my mom's kind of heated. It takes her a minute to calm down. And I was like, look, don't let her ruin our time out. Like, it's not even worth it. My mom was like, all right. So a few minutes pass, bitch, and my mom is doing whatever. She's drinking and the movie is about to start by this point. So I'm trying to calm down. My mom's trying to calm down. I'm like so into my phone at one point, and all of a sudden I hear, are you fucking serious? My mom turns around and she was like, I am not going to tell you again to take your fucking feet off of my chair, dude. This time, bitch, this time. Instead of the girl having her feet on the armrest from the back, she had her feet like this on top of my mama's chair, yo. On top of her chair, like this. I turned around and I saw her funky ass feet like this, with no shoes on, like just nasty. And I was just like, girl, I knew it. I like literally, I saw that and I was like, oh bitch, you about to get it. Oh my God. So I keep my face in my phone because like, I knew what was about to happen. And my mom was like, I know you are not. They keep going back and forth. And these other people come in. And I don't remember who they were. I just remember that they were there. They come in. They have a seat like up higher in the theater so they can see all this going on. I really do think that they just want to be nosy, right? So they sit down. And I really don't even remember how many of them there were. All I remember is like they were there for maybe like 5 minutes while this girl and my mom are going back and forth. And my mom was like, I've told you and told you. And this girl was like, no. And her big thing was, you can't tell me what to do and how to sit in a movie theater. If this is how I want to sit and this is how I'm comfortable, like that's what I'm going to do. And my mom was like, it's my chair though. Like, that is not proper etiquette. Who raised you? Like, what do you mean? Like, you have your bare ass feet on my shit. Like, I can smell your feet. Like, this is not what I paid my money for, to be smelling your funky patas. What are you talking about? So like, they're going back and forth. And meanwhile, this time, this girl doesn't want to take her feet off of my mom's chair. She's still like this. She stood like this while she's talking shit. And it took I could tell my mom was struggling because my mom really just wanted to like move that bitch's feet. But she didn't, because at this time she was working in the courthouse. She already knew what was up. And so she was like, I can't touch her. Like, I can't do shit. But my mom is like strong arming her and was like, take your fucking feet off. And she was like, no. She was like, no, I'm not. She was like, this is how I want to sit. Like, no. Y'all, at some point, while my mom and this girl are going back and forth, somebody from that other group gets up, comes down the stairs, and I saw them. I saw them like out of my periph. And they're like going down the stairs, and I didn't even really think much of it. Girl, not even 2 minutes later, they show back up and they have the fucking movie security. There was one of the officers and then like just a regular employee of the theater. So 2 people came in with this other person, and I guess they had gone out there and told that there was like an altercation or like there was conflict in the theater. So the employee comes in, the security guard comes in, and like legit, I look up and I'm like, oh shit, we're about to get thrown out. Oh my God, we're about to get thrown out. Like, you know, so I tap my mom and I'm like, mom, security's here. So my mom turns around, she was like, good. Being who she is, she was like, hi. And she looked at the employee, she was like, I am so sorry that I know that this is probably a big inconvenience for you. She was like, but if you could just clear something up for me really fast, I'd really appreciate it. And that employee was like, yeah, you know, what's going on? What's the problem? My mom starts talking. She was like, I just want to know what your policy is with like bare feet on other people's chairs. Like, is that like, can we use other people's chairs for footrests and things like that with bare feet? The employee starts saying no. Like, she starts being like, no, like, you're not supposed to do that. Girl, in the middle of her talking, tell me why. This girl right here, she yells and she goes, I have a heart condition. That's why I need my feet elevated, because I have a heart condition. This was the first time hearing about this, because you were just yelling and going off at the mouth and just getting yourself all hella worked up. I could not tell you had a heart condition because you were just going off and off. Like, since when? Like, girl, she switched up so fast. I couldn't even believe it. And I was like, I know you were not, right? So the security guard is just like standing there and he was like, you need to take your feet off of her chair. So like, just begrudgingly, she like lets her feet drop. And she was like, this is so ridiculous. I'm being discriminated against because I have a heart condition and I need to have my feet elevated. And the employee mentioned, she was like, okay. She was like, well, we have these handicap chairs in the front of the theater. And she was like, well, I don't want to sit there. It's too close. And then right behind the handicap chairs, there's like this row where instead of it being like the back of a chair in front of you, it's an actual rail. And it's a little bit higher than the handicap chairs, but in front of it, it's a rail, bitch. So like, the employee pointed right there and she was like, if you want to elevate your feet, you are more than welcome to take this entire row and you can put your feet up on the rail, but you cannot use somebody else's chair as a footrest, especially with your feet bare like that. Like, it's just not okay. So you're either gonna have to move, ma'am, or you're gonna have to stop using this woman's chair as a footrest. No, I'm still like this, girl. I'm still like so into my shit. I'm like, I think my boyfriend was texting me or something and I was like, yo, you won't believe what's happening right now, right? I already get the sense of what she's saying, what the employee is saying, the security guard is saying, and this lady is just like making it a bigger issue. You're telling me that I have to move when I have a heart condition because this bitch said so? What? What did she say? Girl, when I tell you this was the first time in the entire debacle that my ass got up, I was up within 1.2 seconds, bitch. Lightning speed. The minute that I heard the I am bitch. I was up, turned around, and I had my foot on my chair, and I was about to jump over my mother and get over to this bitch. I was like, I know you were not. I was like, who you calling a bitch? I'm like, sitting down, I'm like, who you calling a bitch? I was like, that is my mother you talking to. Watch your mouth. That's my mother you talking to. Oh my God. Seriously? I am being attacked. She starts crying, bitch. And I mean big old crocodile tears. And she got red in the face. And she goes, oh my God, I'm being attacked because I have a medical condition. Like, she needs to go to jail and so does she. Like, she's threatening to come over here and attack me. Of course, I'm all heated. And I was like, yes, the fuck I I will. I'm like a rabid dog. I was like, you do not. I don't know who you're referring to as a bitch, but you got the wrong motherfucking one. Y'all, I was like, I would jump over this fucking chair and beat the shit out of you. Say something else. I was like, I was already in the moment where I was like, I'm literally gonna be fighting at the movie. Now, it was at this point because I had lost my shit, and I did. I was like, had my foot on the chair, like, I'm gonna jump over this fucking shit and beat the shit out of you. Let something else like that come out your mouth. So she's sitting there crying up against her chair, like, you know, I'm just gonna attack her viciously, okay? Crying. This is unfair. I'm not being treated properly. I just have a heart condition. And like, I'm telling you my medical needs and you guys don't want to listen. So she starts going off. Her boyfriend even starts going, babe, come on, let's just go. Come on, let's just go. And she was like, no, they're leaving. I'm not leaving. They're leaving. And I was like, bitch, I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going, me and my mother are not going anywhere. I was like, you need to fucking leave. Meanwhile, while she's going off like this, I see the security guard and he's like slowly coming up the stairs to her aisle. And he's like, y'all need to pack your stuff up and you guys need to leave. You guys are causing a disturbance. We have given you other options for you to sit, to help with your handicap or whatever issues you're dealing with. But at this point, you gotta go. You need to leave. And she was like, oh my God, are you serious? Are you serious? Y'all, the security guard for real looked at me and he goes, I got it. And I was like, oh, you better have it. You better have it, y'all. Like, I was so mad. And I was like looking at her and I was like, you were so fucking lucky. You were so lucky. And like, he's like actively like, let's go. Like, grab your stuff. And she's like, are you being serious? And he was like, if you want me to, I can physically remove you from the property, but you're causing a disturbance. He was like, there's nothing else that we can do for you. You cannot be using other people's chairs. Like, we're not going to repeat it. If you want to talk to the manager, if you want to talk to the owner, that's completely on you. And she was like, actually, I do. And he was like, okay, you're gonna have to leave the theater in order to do that, ma'am. We're not gonna bring the manager in here and disturb these other folks' viewing experience. You need to leave. Now, the whole time, when I tell you, tears. The tears and the slobberation of it all. Like, it was so much. And she like grabs her purse. She's like the whole time, I cannot believe this. I cannot believe this. And she gets on her phone and she was like, I am being discriminated against because they and I have a heart condition and like they need to leave. I shouldn't be the one leaving. They need to leave. And her boyfriend is like, come on, babe, let's just go. Let's just go. Y'all, she did that the whole way out of the theater. At the end of it, you know, like me and my mom had to have like a moment where we calmed down. And then my mom looked at me and she goes, you for real tried to jump over those chairs? And like we both started laughing. She was like, that's my daughter. That's my daughter. I was like, I know she did not call you a bitch. Like, I know she did not. Like, so we're going over the whole thing. We end up laughing it off. And we refuse to allow this whole shit to ruin our only mother and daughter night that we've had in a while. And we watch the movie. We have a good time. Everything's all good. Fast forward to the end of the movie and we grab our shit. We go to leave out of the front of the movie theater. Tell me why we see that bitch still there with her man standing at the counter. And she's like waiting to talk to somebody. Nobody has talked to her yet about her shit and she's refusing to leave. I also, at some point, like during all of this, my mom mentioned he was doing it too. And I was like, yeah, like they can't both have a fucking heart condition where they're both taking off their socks and shoes and putting them on other people's fucking chairs when somebody is sitting in it. Okay, when somebody is occupying this chair, both of them were doing it. I don't believe a damn word she said. I don't think she had a heart condition. I think that she said that she did, or maybe she does, and but like she definitely was using that as an excuse to be absolutely rude out in public. And like there are just some people who believe that if they have something wrong with them internally, or if they have a handicap or something, that like they use that as an excuse to be rude and inconsiderate. And it's just like, like my mom fought cancer for 5 years, bitch, had a full ass hip replacement, got half of her organs missing, and you don't see her sitting up here, well, I have to do this because I'm a cancer patient. Like, no ma'am, no ham, no turkey. You expect me to sit up here and pay $14 for a ticket for me to have your stinky patas around me during my entire movie and my experience? No ma'am. And then you sat there and called my mom a bitch. Girl, I was so ready. I was like, take me to jail. I was already like in my very rebellious teenage stage and I didn't care. I was just like, I will go to jail for whooping your ass. I don't care. And also, I was like, I'm still a minor, bitch. Hit me. I knew she was not a minor. I was like, please hit me. Please hit me. Please hit me. Like, I was just so, girl. But yeah, she claimed that we were discriminating against her for having a heart condition that made it to where she could not enjoy a movie without elevating her feet, her nasty bare feet on somebody else's occupied chair. So I don't know, we come across the craziest, most inconsiderate people sometimes, and it just, the audaciousness for me, the audacity of some people. And you know what, I've noticed this type of reaction and this type of behavior from more and more people these days, where like they really don't care how their actions affect others, and it's like the most selfish, ridiculous shit I've ever seen in my life. But anyways, y'all, that is my story for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you guys have ever run across anybody like just simply inconsiderate or just like so off their rocker at the movies, especially people kicking the back of your chair, like just being really inconsiderate, throwing popcorn, talking the whole time. There's so many things that could go wrong on a movie theater. But you guys let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you give this video a like. It helps your girl out with the algorithm. If you guys have any questions for me, let me know down in the comments. Thank y'all so much for coming to chill with me for story time. I love y'all, and I will see your fine ass in my next video. Peace out, y'all.